So today we're going to discuss one of the most underrated sci-fi movies of all time.
The Lawnmower Man.
The story of a man with the mind of a child and a doctor.
Virtual reality holds a key to the evolution of the human mind.
With a vision of the future.
I have a game in my house that you might like to play.
His mind is like a clean, hungry sponge.
You realize, Dr. Angelo, that my intelligence has surpassed yours.
We have no idea what he's going to do.
Is all in your mind.
Okay, so yeah, The Lawnmower Man. It's a 1992 sci-fi film, and it's kind of like what we like to do in these film reviews is go into films that maybe you haven't seen, certain films that we've always loved, and we always think, well, nobody ever talks about them. Another one would be Fly 2. I reckon we do a thing on.
I reckon we do
Congo.
Fly.
Congo, that would be another good one as well. That was a underrated.
Stop eating my sesame cake.
He loves
Tim
that
Curry.
line. He loves that. Yeah, Tim Curry in that.
Yeah.
He's
appeared in so many cult classic films.
He's good in every film, though.
Yeah, he makes every film worth watching. But yeah,
I mean, especially like Home Alone 2.
Yeah,
I love him in that.
What's the matter? Store wouldn't take your stolen credit card.
He's classic in it. So The Lawnmower Man it's a film. It's a sci-fi film, and it's based on a Stephen King story. But
so many films are just Stephen King where you don't know the Stephen King.
Yeah, but here's the thing about it: the actual thing. They took the actual name, The Lawnmower Man, from Stephen King's story, and that's all. So they took the name, and there was a script going around Hollywood called Cyborg Man, which, if you've seen Lawnmower Man, I think it's Cybo Man. Yeah. That's the monkey in the actual film. The Job, one of the actual main character, thinks he likes comic books, and Cybo Man is the actual one. So that was the name of the script that was going around Hollywood, and they thought, well, we'll just nick his title, and so we can put a Stephen King story, and then just put it on that film. Then Stephen King heard about it and was like, take my name off the film immediately because it's nothing to do with me.
From the imagination comes the story of a man.
I don't want to be a part of that trash.
It's not even like, oh, what a great name.
No, it's a weird name. For example, like I said to you the other day, I was speaking to one of my mates about it, and we were talking about films that we love, and like not a lot of people really, they don't know them. You know, they're just like, what's that? And I said, oh, a film I really love is The Lawnmower Man. And he said, what's that about? A guy who mows lawns? And I was like, yeah. He is a lawnmower man in it, but the overview of the story is that he's a guy who's not very smart, and he gets basically abused by everybody he meets. You know, he gets bullied and things like that. And he meets this scientist who's played by Pierce Brosnan, pre-Bond, and he never talks about this film, which is unfortunate because
is he never?
No, because he recently did a Vanity Fair, you know, where it shows him putting in the VHSs, and it's like I literally was looking at it to try and see on the VHSs if it actually said The Lawnmower Man, but it didn't, and I've never heard him talk about it.
He hadn't been in many films before that, so
no,
why would he not talk about it? That's very strange.
Yeah, and he was in like Remington Steele, and for what it was at the time, but. So he meets this scientist, Pierce Brosnan, and he aims to make him smarter through the use of virtual reality, which at that time in 1992, it was a big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, that and 3D. It was always
that and 3D. Yeah, because you used to have the 3D glasses. I know that.
And games were just coming. I remember Virtual Racing.
Yeah,
one of the first ones. I like crude graphics.
It even says in the actual movie itself, it's just like it has like a blurb at the start of it. And it's like, by the end of the century, virtual reality will be the biggest thing that we use in our everyday lives. And it's not really worked out like that, even though it is quite popular now. You know, you do get virtual reality. Like you had a virtual reality headset, didn't you? A Sony one.
Like it's not cut on because people just ultimately don't want to wear things on their head all the time, so it'll never catch on because of that reason. But it's crazy the actual advances in technology. Now it's all about augmented reality where you put on glasses and you can see things within actual reality.
Yeah, it's crazy how far things have come, because me and we always joke about in this film that on the front cover, it has like a quotation from the Sun, and it says "dazzling effects, even better than T2." And if you ever see the film, if you haven't seen the film, they ain't better than T2. No. They're not. There's like one of the scenes that we laugh about, and on a rewatch of it, like I watched it the other day in preparation for this. I said that Hank from Breaking Bad gets turned into a load of balls, right? But it's not. It sounds strange, but it wasn't Hank. You know what? That his part of the story is never finished, because it shows him in the shop, as it's called in the film, and he's watching men turn into balls. So, like, but
the way he's describing it,
I'll put a thing up on the screen. So
because they do turn into balls.
And if you listen on Spotify, men turned into balls. You know, like, but yeah. So anyway, basically, the whole way the film goes is that he's making him smarter through virtual reality, but he keeps on learning. He's taking drugs to help him with it at the same time, and then he starts getting smarter. Then he gets smarter and smarter. Then he gets smarter than Pierce Brosnan, and then he comes like a megalomaniac.
Dr. Angelo, that my intelligence has surpassed yours.
Basically, he's like, all this information is to me. I know everything that there is to know. I'm better than everybody else. I'm going to basically take over the world. And it follows that story of how Pierce Brosnan's trying to stop him, but he gets retribution on all the people who bullied him, things like that. But he goes too far.
Isn't it weird how it kind of parallels AI now, where AI is learning all the time. At the moment, we use it. Will it use us?
Yeah,
you know, we're getting to that point where, well,
yeah, but the machines are getting too smart. It's the Terminator future. You know, like it could be like that, because this machine AI is getting so smart that, you know, it could be like that. And this film was like a kind of front runner at that time of that. But the thing is, the film came out and it's just slated. Like,
yeah, the IMDb is like 5.9 or something.
Like, it's low IMDb like score, and like you'll find in the reviews, like a lot of reviews for it are quite positive, and it is an underrated gem. But I think it's because when you think of Pierce Brosnan, he's thought mainly for his other films. This is Doubtfire, Bond, etc. And the guy who plays Job in it, Jeff Fahey, like I was watching it with a friend of mine, and she said, I've never really seen that guy before, because he never really made it. You know, all I can say what else I've seen him in is I saw him in Lost. He was in Lost, and I remember thinking, whoa, maybe he's going to make it big time, but he never did. And the other film I've seen him, which I wouldn't expect him to make him big time, was Darkman 3, Die, Darkman, Die. And he does a way over the top bad guy in it. He's like, I'm going to kick his ass.
So it's true, Westlake, that son of a bitch.
It's like not good at all.
Yeah, he is one of those ones.
He was in Planet Terror as well. You know, when Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez did the Grindhouse films.
The people that appeared in that film are always a bit like, oh, the one film that no one remembers.
Yeah, of Tarantino's film.
Every other one's been Star Maker whenever they're in Tarantino films.
We'll probably do like an episode where we actually talk about his films, because I really love his early films. I don't like the latter ones that much.
I hate some of his films. I hate Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Do you think that is just so
self-indulgent tripe?
It is self-indulgent tripe, isn't it? It's like he believes his own press so much that, and you know what I really thought? If you look back at some of the monologues of like Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs, it's like, wow, how do you know? Like people always talk about in Pulp Fiction, you know, when they're going to do the Marvin's house or whatever, Brett's house. And they're talking about the foot massage.
Gave her a foot massage.
Foot massage. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I remember watching that with a girlfriend once, and she goes, I don't get it. Why are they showing this bit where they're just talking about giving him a foot massage? And I was like, that's the film. That's why it's different from any film, because every film you've ever seen before is the hitmen go to the place. It just shows them arriving at the place. They go in, they do their job, they leave. And this is like getting into like the minutia of everyday lives, like like everyday conversations.
And it just highlights that to them, killing people is just something they just have a normal chat between it. It's not a big deal for them to kill people. They're having a normal chat, which ties in later to the story because it's all about his Marcellus Wallace's wife and everything. And like you say, it's the in between bits that it adds layers to the actual characters itself. Whereas you think a hitman's just going to be stoic, goes in there, but it's not. They're just doing their job.
It's just that was like one of the first times I opened my eyes to that kind of thing. And also, I can't remember the film I watched, but it was one of these films where the director, he said when he made the film, they had a scene around a dining table, and he said, I want you, when you're talking, to talk over each other. Because real life isn't, I say something, you reply, then somebody else. Sometimes somebody goes, well, and then people talk over each other.
They stop midway through sentences.
They lose their train of thought. If you see the film, look to watch the director's cut of the film, because the director's cut of the film is like 35 minutes extra, like in the actual film, which actually goes into the characters and it gives you a good idea of what it's all about. Whereas the theatrical cut, they just kind of butcher it. Which happens.
I didn't even know about his wife. The whole wife scene.
Yeah, like his wife's in the actual director's cut. You actually learn about his wife and why she's mad at him and all this kind of thing. It's just so many movies where they just cut out massive parts, and you think, well, why did that happen? Alien 3 being a prime example of that.
We should do an episode one day on the podcast about director's cuts versus theatrical cuts, because it can go both ways. Like I always remember Kingdom of Heaven, the theatrical cut was just rushed and kind of didn't make sense. But when you watch the director's cut, you're like, oh, I really understand what they were going for now.
Yeah, because I've never seen that movie, but the way it's cut is, it's like you basically, the side you're supposed to be rooting for or something like that, you almost change sides depending on what movie you actually watched, like the director's cut or the theatrical cut. And I think that sometimes in terms of, like I say, the director's cut of Lawnmower Man is a lot better than the theatrical cut, but it depends upon the context of the things that are actually used in that. Do they add to the story? I mean, a pure example of time when deleted scenes were added and it completely changed the context of how the film was seen or interpreted was the Peter Sellers film, Being There. It's like a serious film about a guy who he was like an emotional kind of guy, and it was like he'd never really done that kind of role before. Maybe he had, but not in that like kind of high regard, and it was lauded, and it looked like he was going to win the Oscar for it. And then at the end, they have like a gag reel at the end. I mean, I'll put like a little clip of it up, but it's like you kind of, at the end of it, he just kind of walks across like a lake, almost like walking on water. And as he walks off, it's like a touching moment. And then it just cuts to him going, yeah, and blah, blah, blah.
What was the message, Mr. Gardner?
Now get this honky. Sorry, carry on.
Like laughing, and a lot of people said he said himself, I lost the Oscar because they put in the gag reel at the end. He was furious about it.
You can tell that studio interference where they're like, oh, he's known for being funny, stick in the gag reel.
Yeah, and I found that in the Lawnmower Man, in the theatrical cut, by the time he takes revenge on all the people in it, some of the people you're like, why is he killing that guy? Like I don't even know who that guy is, and he's killing him. It's like, but when you watch the director's cut, you're like, oh, at the start he did that he hurt him like that, or there's a priest in it who treats him really badly, and they do show a little bit of that in the theatrical cut, but not enough. Like it really shows like how badly he's been like put down, and he gets back on these people. But if you just cut all of the stuff out where he's getting treated badly, you're like, this guy's just an asshole, like.
With Lawnmower Man, I think because it's such a B movie.
It is a B movie.
Make it 90 minutes max. That's the nature of the film. The genre itself.
I think that, and I mean, it's so kind of not really known. It's like, even if you look, when I would delve into the trivia about it, trivia was pretty weak. I mean, they were coming up with anything. Here's an actual piece of trivia from that film. This was the favorite film of remember when Waco happened and they had that like the guy who was like thought he was the Messiah. They were like, this is his favorite film. Like
that's when you wouldn't want on there.
It's like
if you made that film.
I'm like they're really stretching for like for bits of
It is
trivia.
pretty interesting though.
Yeah,
because you make you think, why would he like that certain film?
Yeah, and it doesn't even go into anything. It's just like this is his favorite film, according to the FBI tapes. So yeah, that was one of the bits of trivia, and literally like that was it. It was kind of like, they did some stuff about the special effects, but it was like we saw the film, like I say, when we were young, and we really liked it. It's like a really like a good B movie kind of thing, and then they made Lawnmower Man 2.
You're alive. How can that be?
The cyberscape is dying, and so am I, right along with it.
If he can destroy our world, he figures we'll have to turn to him as the new messiah in cyberspace.
The future
is now.
This is like the two opposite ends of the spectrum, because Lawnmower Man 1 for us is a very, I would rate it like a 9 out of 10. I would rate Lawnmower Man 2 a 1 out of 10, and it's got 2.4 on IMDb. It is.
Who was in it?
Well, here's the thing: the guy, remember the Max Headroom guy?
I'm going to ask you 4 questions about the film you've just seen.
He plays Job in it. Well, and the thing about the spoilers, basically, for the first film is at the end he gets so like megalomaniac. He sucks himself into the mainframe of like the internet or whatever it was at that time, and he said, "My birth cry will be every phone on Earth ringing at the same time," and it's like it leaves you on a cliffhanger because at the end we're thinking, did he manage to do it? And then as Pierce Brosnan is leaving, all the phones in the world start ringing. You're like, that's a good end. Yeah. Here's what happens in the second one, right? The start of the film is the science lab, you know, where he went into the mainframe. Well, that all got blown up. But in this one, they go into the science lab, they find him in the rubble. He went into the mainframe. Like it shows Pierce Brosnan in the first one, it's just like a skeleton. But in this one, he's alive. He's still there. He never went into the mainframe, which just totally throws away the end of the first film. And the guy who finds him is like this guy who's power hungry. And Job says to him, "I can help you take over the world." And now the young lad who was the guy out of Last Action Hero, he actually returned for the sequel. He's a computer hacker now, and they work in taking down hacking organizations. So it pits him against Job. It's got some of the worst special effects I've ever seen. It's a bad story.
Better than T2.
It's definitely not better than T2. It's probably only better than T3.
That was better.
The film is just, I thought when I saw it's got bad reviews, I thought, well, maybe it'll be, but it was really bad. And actually, that's probably even worth watching just to see how bad it is. But yeah, in terms of Lawnmower Man, what would you give it if you had to rate it?
Well, as we've said previously, it's clouded by the fact that we were young when we watched it, so it's kind of imprinted on our mind. If I was watching it now for the first time, would I hold it in such high regard? I don't know, because I can't put myself in that position.
Well, like I said, I watched it a few nights ago, and I hadn't seen the director's cut for a long time, because when I bought it on VHS, it was the theatrical cut, but we'd seen the director's cut the first time we saw it. And I was watching it, and I had like a friend with me, and she was talking, and I just kept like, sometimes I wasn't hearing what she was saying because I was just so engrossed in the film.
That's being a bad friend.
Yeah, that's been a bad friend. But I was literally couldn't keep my eyes off the screen because I was just like,
the dazzling special effects.
Better than T2. I was just like, this is better than what I thought it was. So for me, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I love this film. It's probably in my top 10 films of all time.
I think it's one of those films whenever it's on, which isn't.
It's never on. Like, I don't think has it ever even been on TV ever.
If it was on the Sci-Fi channel or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have been shown on there.
I would, or if I put it on, I'd always have a good time watching it, and I wouldn't turn it off. Similar to Stargate, which is another one we should do.
Stargate, we will do that one because I also watched that again. Because what happened was, I think, didn't I send you a picture of me watching it and you said, that's crazy, I watched that last night or
Yeah.
something. It's like it's another one to talk about because a lot of people maybe they would think of Stargate as there was a TV series.
SG-1.
Yeah, which was quite popular, but the original film of that, James Spader, Kurt Russell, that's probably one we should probably do next.
Yeah, because
we'll do Stargate next.
It is kind of forgotten, the original.
It is. Yeah, it is.
There was a lot in it about mythology, and it was kind of almost a logical. Oh no, it wasn't a very logical premise, but everything about it, the setting of it. I suppose they couldn't make it today because the way it represents ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
But great film.
That was a great film. That was definitely, again, watching that. It's one of those films where you watch it and you go, "Wow, that's a great film," and then give it a year. Then you think, what happened in that?
I know.
And then you watch it again, and you're like,
great film.
And you're like, great film. And then a year later, it's like, what happened in that? And then literally, there is certain films that are like that. You know what? One that I always get with that, Flight of the Navigator. I watch it, I'm just like, I love this film. And then it's like, I completely forget everything that happened in it. And maybe I get it kind of confused with what happened in E.T. in some kind of scenes.
What other films, anyone that's listening to this, wait, you love the film, but you forget Inner Space.
Inner Space, yeah. All I can remember that from the end of Inner Space is when he's driving away in the Ferrari going around the mountains. That's all I remember, from the actual film.
All I remember is they broke into a hospital at one point, or a clinic, or something like that. That's all I remember. Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, Lawnmower Man. So, but I mean, yeah, basically, if I was going to rate, I'd still give it a 9 out of 10.
I'd give it an 8 because some parts of it are just dated now, but it's a great watch whenever you watch it.
It's a great watch, and we would recommend just if you can find it. I don't know if it's on streaming or anything like that, but if you can find it, give it a watch and just let us know in the comments what you think
and what you want us to talk about next.
Yeah. If you give us some ideas of what reviews of films, maybe lesser known films, because like I said, we want to kind of hit those kind of films that people never talk about. And because it's different. So yeah, just let us know in the comments.
See you later.
See you later.